When the sun sets and the final school bell falls silent, this place no longer belongs to the living. Invisible footsteps wander through the dark hallways, and the fourth seat quietly waits for its next player. Welcome to the after-school ritual. A game only the missing can win. If you dare, don't look away. The ritual is about to begin. Chapter 1: The Rumor After School. Kitayama High School sat quietly on a small hill in the northern part of the city. With more than 60 years of history, it had witnessed countless dark incidents that the school administration always tried to bury. Still, there was one thing students whispered every day the moment the final bell rang. Never stay at school past 7 p.m. Seniors would tell chilling tales about what happened after dark, hallway lights flickering on and off, doors creaking open without wind, and strange footsteps echoing in empty classrooms. But the most terrifying rumor of all was focused on one place. Classroom 2-3. It was said that years ago, a group of students stayed behind after school to play a strange ritual-like game. A harmless dare, they thought, but afterward, a girl mysteriously disappeared, her body never found. From that day on, Classroom 2-3 became the core of every haunting rumor. Ren, a curious first-year student obsessed with mysteries, first heard the story from a senior in the journalism club. The senior spoke with a half-joking smile, though his eyes betrayed a deeper fear. Greater than, they call it the after-school ritual. Break even one rule, and someone never goes home again. Ren's two closest friends, Saki and Toma, were equally intrigued. To them, these rumors weren't warnings, they were challenges. Proof of bravery, a thrill. So they decided to investigate the game and test whether the legend was real. Even though Saki already felt a creeping dread scratching at her spine. That afternoon, Ren snuck into the nurse's office and found an old student case file forgotten in a cabinet. Most information had been censored or torn out, but one name remained. Greater than Mizuki Arai, class 2-3 missing. Last seen, 7:13 p.m. after school. The ink on the page appeared scratched and smeared, as if someone had desperately tried to erase the truth. When Ren told the others what he found, both Saki and Toma fell silent. Not because they were scared, but because, suddenly, the rumor felt very real. That evening, as they left school, Saki glanced up at the windows of the second floor. A figure stood in classroom 2-3, watching them. A slender girl with long hair covering her face, unmoving. Saki froze in place, but Toma forced a laugh. Maybe it's just the janitor. Let's see if you still look scared tomorrow night. Ren didn't say a word, because in his eyes, the figure wasn't touching the ground. Despite fear creeping into their hearts, curiosity roared louder. Youth made them reckless. And so, they agreed. Pushpin tomorrow, 7:13 p.m. They would play the game. None of them understood the cost. None of them realized, once the ritual begins, it does not end. And the missing player has been waiting a very long time. Chapter 2: The Desk That Chooses. The next morning, Ren couldn't focus on lessons at all. His mind kept replaying last night's figure by the window and the name in the case file. Around the school corridors, rumors continued to spread like an invisible fog. The lights in 2-3 were flickering again last night. Someone heard knocking from inside the room. A girl with long hair asked where classroom 2-3 was, then disappeared. It felt like the classroom itself was trying to communicate through the students. During break, Ren brought Toma and Saki to the second floor. The door to classroom 2-3 creaked loudly as if protesting being disturbed. When they stepped inside, a cold chill washed over them. The fluorescent lights flickered, as though afraid to fully illuminate the room. Toma tried to act tough. What's so scary about this? It's just a dusty old classroom. But before his sentence finished, creak, tap, a noise came from the back of the room. All three turned instantly. They approached desk number 4, the one rumored to have belonged to Mizuki. The wooden surface was scraped and swollen, as if battered repeatedly. When Ren crouched to check the side of the desk, he froze. There were scratched words carved in with fingernails. Greater than, don't leave me here. Let me play too. Saki grabbed Ren's shoulder. Please, don't touch anything. Before Ren could respond. Tap, tap, tap. 3 knocks from under the desk. They didn't breathe. They didn't even blink. Dash dash dash. Toma forced out a shaky laugh. Someone must be hiding under there. He bent down to look. No one. Only a darkness so thick and deep that it looked alive. It felt like something, or someone, was crawling slowly beneath the floorboards. Inching closer. Saki backed away, heart pounding. This place is wrong. Really wrong. Ren's voice trembled, but his resolve hardened. That's exactly why we have to play the ritual. We need to know the truth. Toma gave a nervous grin. We came this far. We're not backing out now. But Saki didn't speak. Because she saw something Ren and Toma didn't. A bloody handprint had just appeared on the leg of the desk. Small. Feminine. And pointing directly at the chair meant for Ren. Dash dash dash. Before leaving, Ren glanced back one last time. Afternoon sunlight shone through the windows, lighting every desk in neat order except desk number 4. Its chair was pulled out, waiting, as if it had already chosen its next occupant. The window slammed shut. A whisper crawled through the air. Greater than, it's almost time. Dash dash dash. Tomorrow. 7:13 p.m. The ritual begins. And the desk is eager for a new friend to play with. Chapter 3. The ritual begins. Time passed faster than they expected. By the time the last club activities ended, most students had already left. The hallways grew darker, filled only with the pale glow of flickering lights. The sky outside slowly turned from violet to pitch black. Ren checked the time, 6:58 p.m. Only a few minutes left. They sneaked into classroom 2-3 with a borrowed key from the equipment room. Every step echoed unnaturally loud, swallowed by the silence. As they pushed the door open, darkness poured over them like ink. Ren switched on the fluorescent lights. They flickered violently before staying on, barely pushing back the cold creeping within the room. And now we start, right? Toma stammered. He placed a paper doll on desk number 4, the required item for the ritual. The doll had a crude drawing of a schoolgirl. Black hair painted down with marker. Its blank, hollow eyes felt like they followed anyone who dared to look. Saki lifted her phone to add some light. But the screen glitched, then shut off completely. My phone's dead, her voice trembled. Ren and Toma checked theirs. All 3 phones lost signal and blackened at once. It was as if the world had cut them off. Dash dash dash. 7:13 p.m. The cursed time. Seconds stretched. Air thickened. Toma pulled out a wrinkled note with the ritual rules and read aloud. Step 1. Knock on the desk 3 times. Step 2. Say, we now begin the game. Step 3. Do not look toward the classroom door. Step 4. Absolutely do not allow a 4th participant. Ren swallowed hard, then knocked. Talk, talk, talk? The sound pierced the silence like a trigger. Toma's voice cracked slightly. We now begin the game. The lights went out completely. Shadows swallowed every surface. Dash dash dash. From behind them, at the door of the classroom, slow, dreadful footsteps began. Step, step, step. Someone was walking toward them. Saki clutched Ren's arm, trembling violently. Someone's here. Ren's heart hammered, but he forced himself to obey the rules. Do not turn around. Even when a cold hand brushed the back of his neck. A whisper tickled their ears. Voice wet and broken. Greater than, can I play too? The paper doll on desk number 4 tilted its head, as if answering that dreadful question. Dash dash dash. The ritual had been accepted. The 4th participant had arrived. And there was no way out anymore. Chapter 4. The 4th participant. Darkness pressed down on them like a living weight. They could feel it breathing, watching. The footsteps stopped right beside desk number 4. The paper doll's crooked head slowly leaned as if acknowledging a presence. A faint strip of light from the hallway crept in beneath the door. It cast a shadow on the floor. A fourth shadow. That shadow did not belong to Ren. Nor Saki. Nor Toma. Saki's nails dug into Ren's arm hard enough to draw blood. It's standing right there. Ren's pulse threatened to burst. Every instinct screamed, "Run, run, run!" But the rules chained them in place. Dash dash dash. Toma swallowed hard. Then, against every rational thought, he leaned down to peek beneath the desk. His eyes widened. There was hair. Long, dark hair spilling down like a curtain from the seat of desk number 4. And beneath that curtain, 2 pale feet, bare and silent, facing the wrong direction. The figure stood backwards, but the shadow on the floor was facing them, with a mouth stretched into a grotesque grin. Dash dash dash. Saki whimpered. "Ren, please, tell me this isn't real?" Ren couldn't speak. His throat locked tight. Suddenly, the lights flickered on for a split second. Just long enough for them to see her. A girl standing by desk number 4. School uniform torn. Hands far too long, fingertips reaching her knees. Her head drooped so low it nearly touched the desk. Where her eyes should have been were only 2 dark, weeping holes. Thick, black liquid dripped down her cheeks like tears of ashes. Ren's knees nearly buckled. She was Mizuki Arai. Dash dash dash. The lights died again. Her voice slithered into the room, not from her mouth, but from everywhere at once. Greater than, only 3. One more is missing. Shall I choose for you? Her unnaturally long finger rose and pointed directly at Ren. Dash dash dash. Toma tried to lunge forward, to push Ren away. But his feet wouldn't move. They were glued to the floor, as if invisible claws pinned them down. Ren's body shook violently as a cold, skeletal hand wrapped around his ankle beneath the desk. Saki screamed, "Don't let it take you." But Ren was frozen, unable to breathe, unable to scream, because Mizuki had picked her substitute. Dash dash dash. Pushpin, the ritual was active. Pushpin, the rules had been broken. Pushpin, someone must take her place. And the one she chose was Ren. Chapter 5. The hand beneath the desk. Ren tried to pull his leg away, but the grip tightened. Icy fingers dug into his skin, climbing higher, clawing deeper into flesh as though trying to drag his very soul down. He opened his mouth to scream, but no sound came out. His lungs were locked, suffocating under sheer terror. Toma grabbed Ren's arm, trying to yank him free. But then his eyes widened. Because under the desk, there wasn't just one hand. There were many. Pale, bony hands. Some small like a child's, others long and twisted, all crawling out from darkness. Nails scraping against the floor. Scritch, scritch. They slithered forward like starving creatures seeking prey. Dash dash dash. The lights flickered. Flash. Ren was halfway pulled beneath the desk, fear swallowing his gaze. Flash. Grinning faces pressed against the floorboards, mouths gaping wide, waiting. Flash. Mizuki sat in Ren's chair now, perfectly still, like she had always belonged there. Dash dash dash. Saki cried out, voice cracking. "Stop it, let him go." She threw herself toward Ren, grabbing his torso, trying to pull him back. Suddenly, every hand froze, then slithered away, all but the one gripping Ren. That one squeezed tighter. A whisper oozed into Saki's ear, cold as the grave. Greater than, "Don't touch my game." Mizuki tapped her fingernails against the desk. Clack, clack, clack. Each tap rattled through their skulls like a countdown to doom. Dash dash dash. In raw panic, Toma kicked the chair Mizuki was sitting in. The chair toppled over. But Mizuki did not. She remained suspended, floating, as if invisible strings held her aloft. Her head twisted 180 degrees, slowly, bones creaking like cracking ice. Her mouth tore open into a jagged grin. Greater than, "You dare interrupt?" Ren gasped as he finally tore his leg free. But deep red scratches marked where the hands had preyed on him. Blood soaked into his sock. He collapsed, trembling uncontrollably. Saki wrapped her arms around him, tears staining his shoulder. "Ren, don't let it take you, please." Toma clenched his fists. We can't leave. The rules, we broke them. It's going to kill us all." Ren stared at desk number 4. Its wooden frame now quivering. Hungry. He finally understood. Pushpin, they had triggered the ritual. Pushpin, breaking the rules meant punishment. Pushpin, there was no way out except finishing the game. Mizuki's hair began twisting and stretching. Sharp strands crawling across the floor like serpents. She raised a finger toward the door. The hair pointed with her. As footsteps approached from the hallway. Not just Mizuki was part of the game now. Others were coming. Others, who were hungry. Chapter 6, The Reflection Without a Face. The classroom felt tighter by the second, as if the walls were closing in. Ren's wound throbbed painfully, every heartbeat pumping fresh fear through his veins. Toma tried to steady his voice. We have to figure out the next step. Before it decides for us." Saki clung to Ren, tears streaking down her cheeks. "I don't want anyone to disappear." Ren forced himself up, limping toward the teacher's desk. On it, he saw something odd. Pushpin, a shattered hand mirror. No one noticed it before. It wasn't there when they entered. His reflection stared back at him through the cracked surface. But something was wrong. In the mirror. Ren wasn't alone. Behind him, right over his shoulder, stood Mizuki, her head inches from his. Her long hair spilled forward, covering half her face. But the visible half was smooth skin. No eyes. No nose. No mouth. A face that never existed. Ren gasped and spun around. Nothing. Just darkness breathing behind him. The mirror suddenly trembled in his hand. Hairline cracks began spreading outward like spiderwebs. Ren's reflection warped, then began to fade. Piece by piece. His face disappeared. Nose first. Then lips. Then eyes. Until the reflection staring back at him had no features at all. Just a blank void. Saki screamed. Ren, your face." Ren touched his own skin and felt himself still there. But the mirror showed a different truth. Pushpin, whoever loses in this ritual. Pushpin is erased from existence. Toma snatched the mirror from him. "Don't look at it. That's what it wants." But the mirror wouldn't stop. Crack, crack, crack. Fragments fell, revealing another reflection beneath. A girl sitting at desk number 4. Head down. Hair cascading like a burial veil. Her fingers drummed on the desk. Clack. 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 Then, her face snapped upward into view. Black tears streamed down. A smile split her face open. Greater than, "It's your turn." The mirror exploded in Toma's hand. Glass shards flew everywhere. One sliced Ren's cheek. But instead of red blood, dark ink dripped out. Ren stumbled back in horror. Saki clasped her mouth. "Ren, what's happening to you?" Toma whispered. "It's marking him. He's becoming the replacement." Ren grabbed his chest, panting harder with every second. He needed to stop this before it was too late. He forced himself to face Mizuki, who now hovered a few feet above the ground. Hair flowing like smoke. Ren shouted, "How do we finish this game?" Mizuki paused. Her head twisted in a sickening motion. Bones snapping like dry branches. Then she whispered, "Greater than, the same way it began." Pushpin, someone must take the seat at desk number 4. Pushpin, someone must become the 4th player. Pushpin, only then does the ritual end. But the end does not guarantee survival. Ren clenched his fists. He knew the rules. And he knew what it meant. Warning: kill the game. Equals sacrifice oneself. Dash dash dash. From the hallway, footsteps grew louder. Dozens of them. Approaching. Time was running out. Chapter 7: A Game of Life and Death. The footsteps in the hallway multiplied. Step, step, step. Slow, synchronized, inhuman. Saki grabbed Ren's sleeve, voice broken. Someone's coming, a lot of them. Toma rushed to the windows. But each one was sealed shut by black shadows clinging like tar. Ren tried the classroom door. It wouldn't budge. As if invisible hands were holding it from the other side. A low groan echoed from the hallway. Then, the door creaked open by itself. Dash dash dash. A line of students stepped inside. But something was wrong. Their school uniforms were old, torn, stained with dirt. Where their faces should have been. Only smooth skin. No eyes. No mouths. Just blank, pale flesh. Yet somehow, Ren could feel their gazes. All staring directly at him. Their shadows stretched across the floor. Far too long. Curling around desks like living snakes. Dash dash dash. One faceless student raised an arm, pointing straight at desk number 4. Their collective whisper bled into the air. Greater than 4 players. One must remain. The air turned colder. Ren's breath fogged. His heartbeat pounded louder than the footsteps behind him. He tried to think, but the fear was suffocating. Dash dash dash. Suddenly, pencils, erasers, and textbooks flew off shelves and desks. Like a violent gust of wind, the entire classroom rearranged itself, forcing the 3 into a cramped space near the blackboard. Desk number 4 sat alone in the middle, waiting. Mizuki hovered above it, her long arms dangling lifelessly, her hair spreading across the room like black roots. Her voice came from the faceless students instead of her mouth. Greater than, will you sit? Or must we choose for you? Dash dash dash. Ren shook uncontrollably. He looked at Saki. Her face pale, tears shimmering in her eyes. He looked at Toma. Fists clenched, trying to be brave despite his terror. Ren wished he could lie and say everything would be okay. But this wasn't the kind of horror you wake up from. This was real. Dash dash dash. Mizuki slowly pointed at Ren's bleeding ankle. The mark the hands left was spreading, turning his skin into a dark stain of corruption. Greater than, he is chosen. Saki cried. No, take me instead. The faceless students all turned their heads toward her at the same time. Bones cracking from the sudden motion. Toma grabbed Saki's hand, shaking his head. Don't say that. You'll die. Saki choked on her sobs. Better me than Ren. Ren clenched his fists. He refused to let this become another tragedy buried in school archives. Dash dash dash. He stepped forward. One step closer to desk number 4. Mizuki's smile widened. A grotesque mask of victory. The whispers intensified, vibrating through skulls. Greater than, game continues? Replace the 4th? Or all shall remain. Dash dash dash. The endgame had begun. Chapter 8: The Long Night of Pursuit. The classroom clock ticked loudly. But the hands weren't moving forward. They were ticking backward. 10 minutes. 9 minutes 47 seconds. 9 minutes 46 seconds. Time itself was counting down their fate. Ren and Toma helped Saki off the cursed desk, placing her against the wall. Her breathing was shallow, but she was still alive. Ren whispered, "We have to finish the ritual. There must be a way to end it." Toma nodded, jaw trembling. But Saki can't speak. Who will say the final line? Ren stared at his bleeding ankle. The wound pulsed, spreading the black mark further up his leg. Behind them, Mizuki tilted her head, tracking the sound of Ren's racing pulse. She could smell his fear. Dash dash dash. Lights flickered violently. The faceless students began to move. Slowly at first, then faster. One by one, They stood up and turned to face the trio. Their chairs scraped across the floor by unseen force, clearing a path straight toward the hallway door. Ren understood. Pushpin, if they wanted to live, they had to run. A whisper brushed against his ear. Greater than, run, so I can find you. The lights cut out. Dash dash dash. A screeching roar erupted from behind them. Wood splintering, metal bending. Without thinking, Ren and Toma dragged Saki toward the door and sprinted into the hallway. Lights flicked on and off overhead, each flash revealing Mizuki. Closer. And closer. And closer. Her movements weren't human. She teleported with every blink. A living jump scare in the dark. Dash dash dash. They reached the end of the hallway. Ren grabbed the exit door handle. Hope finally within reach. But when he pulled pushpin, he was back in classroom 2 to 3. The exact same spot. As if the hallway never existed. Toma screamed. No, we ran all the way there. This is impossible. Saki coughed up blood, trembling. This school. It's a loop. A maze for the dead. Her voice layered. Like two different people speaking through one mouth. Dash dash dash. Letters carved themselves into the wall. Deep gouges tearing into paint and wood. Greater than, all students must remain in class. No one leaves until the bell rings. A game begun cannot be abandoned. Ren's eyes widened as the truth clicked. Pushpin, this wasn't just a curse. Pushpin, it was a rule enforced by the school itself. Not a place for studying. A prison for souls. Dash dash dash. The classroom clock jerked violently. It stopped ticking at 7 minutes 13 seconds remaining. The exact time Mizuki went missing. And then, Mizuki charged. Not walking. Not gliding. She scrambled on all fours. Nails shredding the wooden floor. Charging like a starving predator. Dash dash dash. Greater than drop of blood, the hunt had begun. Drop of blood, they were the prey. Mizuki would not let them escape again. Not this time. Not ever. Chapter 9, The Haunted Class Photo. Mizuki's inhuman shrieks echoed behind them as Ren, Toma, and Saki stumbled into the staff room, slamming the door shut. Saki gasped for air. Toma locked the door with trembling hands. The sound felt too loud. Like it could summon something worse. The room was dimly lit. Papers scattered everywhere as if a storm had passed through. But in this nightmare, everything felt like a sign. Ren's attention was drawn to a bulletin board on the wall. Old class photos hung there. Dozens of them. But there was something disturbingly wrong. Pushpin, many faces in the photos were ripped out. Violently torn, leaving jagged holes where human lives should be. Ren stepped closer. There. A picture labeled. Year. 2 years ago, class 2 to 3. A girl stood at desk number 4 in the center of the photo. Her face was torn away. Only long hair remained. Beneath it read, Arai Mizuki, missing. But the word missing was slashed out in red ink. Someone had scrawled over it. Greater than, still here. Dash dash dash. Ren's heart pounded. Toma whispered shakily. So there really were students who vanished. Ren swallowed. But his eyes weren't done seeing horrors. Because beside Mizuki's torn image, Pushpin, there were 3 more faces ripped out. 3 more students who vanished. 4 in total. Just like now. Saki whispered. It's a curse. It's been happening every single year. Dash dash dash. Ren frantically scanned another class photo. From last year. His stomach twisted. Standing at desk number 4 was a boy. The label beneath it. Yamasaki Ren. Ren stepped back in shock. That's my name. But I wasn't even here last year. I'm new. Toma shook his head. This doesn't make sense. You transferred this year? Ren stared at the familiar handwriting under the photo. His own name. Clear as day. Pushpin, the ritual didn't begin tonight. Pushpin, it had chosen him long before he arrived. His blood turned ice cold. Dash dash dash. Suddenly, Every photo on the wall fell at once, slamming onto the floor like dead weight. Then, they flipped themselves face up again. Every single photo had changed. Ren saw his face in each one. Standing at desk number 4. Not Mizuki. Not anyone else. Him. And as he stared, his photo image began to fade, then tear away on its own, erasing him before he was even gone. Saki grabbed Ren's arm. It's going to erase you completely. If you disappear, no one will remember you even existed. Ren's tears fell before he noticed them. The room fell deadly silent. Then, klishik. The clock shifted another second backward. 5 minutes 13 seconds remain. Toma's voice cracked. We have to run. Before we all. The lights flickered. Something scraped along the ceiling. All the faceless students turned toward the staff room door. And from the darkness outside, a soft, childlike laugh echoed. Greater than, found you. Pushpin Ren was the chosen replacement. Pushpin the school was rewriting reality to claim him. Pushpin escape had never been an option. The only way out. Finish the game. Without becoming the next ghost. Chapter 10 The Message of the Forgotten. Ren, Toma, and Saki stumbled down a narrow staircase into the archived records room beneath the school. A place untouched by sunlight and forgotten by the living. The air was thick, heavy, like breathing inside a sealed coffin. Stacks of old files towered over them, dust forming a grave-like shroud over everything. Saki's voice was faint. Why does this place feel like it's waiting for us? Ren ignored the dread in his gut and searched desperately. Somewhere here, the answer had to exist. Toma found a locked drawer and yanked it open. Files spilled out, all stamped top secret in red. One folder stood out. Pushpin Class 2-3 Missing Students Case. Investigation suspended. Inside were police reports, testimonies, classroom diagrams, and coroner notes despite no bodies ever recovered. A line repeated across multiple years. Greater than, last seen at 7:13 p.m. in classroom 2-3. Desk number 4 showed signs of movement and blood residue. Case remains unsolved. Ren's hands shook as he flipped the pages. A single folded letter fell out. Not official. Scrawled. Terrified. He slowly unfolded it. If you're reading this, please do not play the game. It needs a replacement to let someone go. Whoever sits in the 4th seat loses their face, loses their name, loses everything. Mizuki tried to stop the ritual, but the game forced her into the 4th role. Final lines were smeared, written in a dried, rust-colored stain. Greater than, don't let it choose you. Ren. Signed. Takeda Yuto, Class 2-3. One of the missing from 3 years ago. Ren staggered backward. How did he know my name? Toma whispered, horrified. This letter is from 3 years ago. But Ren's name was clear. Unshaken by time. Pushpin the ritual didn't pick victims randomly. Pushpin it had been waiting for him. Suddenly, every light in the room died. Darkness swallowed them whole. Something cold breathed against the back of Ren's neck. A small, trembling voice whispered. Greater than, we've met before. Ren. Ren spun around and came face to face with a girl without eyes. Her hollow sockets bled thick black liquid. A smile cracked her face unnaturally wide. Saki screamed. Toma grabbed Ren and pulled him back. But all they could do was run. Up above, the classroom lights flickered violently. Something was coming. The clock in the hallway rang out. 3 minutes 13 seconds left. Time was collapsing. Reality tearing apart. Saki clutched her chest. Ren, you have to finish this. Before it's too late. Her voice layered again, like someone speaking through her. Ren forced himself to stand tall. He gritted his teeth. Fine. If this cursed game chose me. He glared into the darkness. into Mizuki's empty eyes. Then I'll end it myself. Pushpin only one move remained. Pushpin only one seat needed filling. Pushpin one soul must take the place of the missing player. And if Ren failed, all three would vanish without a trace. The ritual clock was nearly out of time. The final showdown was coming. Chapter 11. No one leaves the school. They burst into the hallway again, gasping for air. The lights above flickered so rapidly that the darkness between each flash felt like another world bleeding in. Ren checked the clock on the wall. 2 minutes 48 seconds left. That number pulsed like a heartbeat, counting down their doom. Toma steadied Ren while Saki was barely conscious, her legs trembling. Ren spoke through clenched teeth. "We have to finish the ritual. There must be an ending." Saki's voice quivered. "But if we can't finish it? If we can't win?" She didn't need to finish. They all knew the answer. Pushpin, they would be erased. A loud bang echoed down the corridor. A distant scream, distorted, inhuman. Toma grabbed Ren's arm. "We need to try the exit again. It's the only chance." They rushed toward the emergency door at the end of the hallway. Ren prayed, genuinely prayed, that the nightmare would finally break here. They shoved through the door and found themselves standing back inside classroom 2-3. Same spot, same desks, same evil. Toma's voice cracked as he slammed his fists against the wall. "This can't be happening. We ran all the way out." On the wall, words carved themselves into existence, as if a bleeding hand wrote them. Greater than, students are not allowed to leave until the bell rings. Finish the class. Finish the game. Ren finally understood. Pushpin, the school, was now part of the ritual. Pushpin, the building itself, was the prison. Pushpin, there is no escape until someone takes the seat. Saki whispered, tears trembling in her eyes. "Then what do we do?" Before anyone could answer, the entire floor shook. A deep rumbling, like something enormous was waking beneath them. The doors and windows sealed shut by black veins crawling across the surface. Desks rattled violently, then lifted into the air, hovering like predatory birds waiting for the kill. The classroom clock jerked again, violently. 2 minutes 13 seconds left. And then, Mizuki appeared in the doorway. No flicker. No fade in. She simply was there, as though she had always been. Her limbs twisted. Her bones cracked. Her head dangled at an impossible angle. Black smoke poured from her hollow eyes. Her voice scraped through the silence like metal on bone. Greater than, the lesson isn't over. Return to your seats? Each word dragged chains behind it. Desk number 4 scraped forward on its own, greeting Ren, like a coffin lid begging to shut. Ren stumbled backward, but the floor swallowed his feet. Wood turned soft like mud, gripping his legs, dragging him down inch by inch. Toma grabbed Ren, pulling with all his strength. "No, I won't let it take you." But the ground wanted Ren more. A whisper seeped up from the cracks. Greater than, sit down. And the game will end. Sweet. Deceptive. Deadly. Ren felt his strength fading. He was being chosen. Again. 1 minute 13 seconds left. Mizuki reached toward him, her shadow stretching like a noose. Saki suddenly regained consciousness, screaming, "Ren, don't sit down. If you do, it will never end." Ren's heart nearly stopped. Behind the terror in Mizuki's expression, he glimpsed something else. Pain, fear, and a trace of desperation. She didn't want to be the monster. The ritual forced her to become it. Ren stared into her emptiness and murmured, "Mizuki, do you want to go home, too?" The entire room froze. Even the shadows held their breath. Mizuki's mouth quivered. A tear, black as night, rolled down her hollow cheek. For a split second, she was just a girl again. Then reality snapped. The clock struck. 1 o'clock minute left. The classroom roared. Mizuki screamed. Not as a monster, but as a soul being dragged back into hell. Greater than, take my place. Let me go home. Ren had only 1 minute to decide. Die and save his friends. Or run and lose everything. Either way. Pushpin only one student walks out of classroom 2 to 3 alive. The final choice was here. Chapter 12. The game never meant to end. The clock's backward heartbeat pounded through the room. 0:59. 0:58. 0:57? Each second slipped away like falling blades. Ren's legs were still trapped in the soft, shifting floor. Hungry hands beneath clawing relentlessly at him, trying to drag him into the void. Toma held Ren tightly, pulling with everything he had. Saki, though weakened, screamed through tears. Ren, don't let it take you. But Mizuki moved in closer, arms stretching like broken wings. Her voice echoed from every direction. Greater than, the game continues. One must be found. One must be taken. Then, everything changed. The desks and chairs violently flew into the air, smashing into the walls. The classroom warped, twisting into a hellish arena. A single rule etched itself in glowing crimson on the chalkboard. Greater than hide. If found equals replacement. Saki's eyes widened. It's a hunt? Toma held his breath. We have to hide now. Lights snapped off. Total blackness. A bone-deep fear seized all three. Ren yanked his legs free and they dove beneath the teacher's podium, breathing as silently as they could. Then the counting began. A voice that didn't belong to the living. Greater than 10. Ren's skin crawled. Greater than 9. A soft drip, drip, drip of black liquid hit his hair from above. Greater than 8. Mizuki's long fingers scraped along the wall, searching. Greater than 7. The faceless students shuffled forward, moving as a single swarm. Greater than 6. Saki trembled, tears falling. Greater than 5. A flat palm slid across the podium, inches from Ren's face. Greater than 4. The darkness breathed. Close. Too close. Greater than 3. Toma's throat tightened. A panicked gulp escaped him. Silence. Cold. Still. Deadly. Then. A razor whisper. Greater than, found you. The podium exploded upwards. Splinters raining down. Ren and Toma were thrown across the room. Saki nearly dragged into the dark beneath the floor. The clock hit. 0:00. Mizuki's grin tore open like a wound. Greater than, loser detected. A hand lashed out, lightning fast, and seized Toma by the ankle. He screamed. Ren, Saki. Don't let go. But his voice cracked off as if someone cut the sound from reality. His body was dragged backward into pitch black. Gone. Not dead. Not alive. Erased. Mizuki turned to Ren and Saki, her voice filled with chilling hunger. Greater than, 2 remain. One must replace me. Ren stared at the empty space where Toma had been. Only a smear of blood remained. His heart shattered. But the countdown had restarted. This time, Pushpin, the choice must be made. Pushpin or both will be erased. The ritual was almost complete. Chapter 13. A hopeless escape. Ren's scream was swallowed by silence. Toma was gone. Erased so completely it felt like he had never existed. Saki collapsed to her knees, weeping desperately. Toma, please come back. Ren held her tight, eyes burning with helpless rage. Mizuki towered before them, head twisted, limbs dangling, hair spreading across the walls like dark vines. Her 2 hollow eyes bore into Ren. Greater than, only one left to replace me. Ren's fists clenched so tightly that blood began to drip from his palms. Saki sobbed. Ren, She'll take you, she's chosen you from the start? Ren wiped the tears from her cheeks, forcing a trembling smile. I promised I wouldn't let anything happen to you. No matter what. Without warning, the classroom burst into chaos. Desks smashed into walls. Chairs flew like knives. The ceiling peeled open, revealing a chasm of pure black. Mizuki shrieked, a distorted, bone-shattering howl. Hands emerged from the darkness. Dozens of them, all reaching for Ren. Saki lunged and held onto him. Don't you dare give up. We finish this together. Ren's breathing turned sharp. He couldn't let Saki die. Not after everything. His eyes darted across the room and froze. A trail of blood dragged across the floor, leading toward the windows. At the end of it, pushed in a scrap of paper. Ren grabbed it with shaking fingers. It was written in Toma's handwriting. Smudged and rushed. Greater than, running equals death. Sitting equals ending. Make the choice, before it chooses. At the bottom, one final plea. Greater than, don't let Saki be the one. Ren's knuckles turned white around the paper. There was no clearer message. He turned to face Mizuki. Her expression flickered. For a moment, she didn't look like a monster. She looked like a frightened girl who had suffered for far too long. Ren stepped in front of Saki. I understand now. This all began because you were forced into that seat. But it should have ended long ago. Mizuki extended her shaking hand, almost pleading. Greater than, let me go home. Her voice cracked, like a heartbreaking. But a second later, her face twisted into a nightmare grin. Greater than, one must stay behind. A hole split open beneath desk number 4. Wood warped and cracked, like jaws opening wide. Saki screamed as the dark abyss pulled at her. Ren, don't do this. Ren grabbed her wrist, their hands slick with tears and blood. Saki's voice broke completely. I can't lose you too. Ren whispered. I'd rather lose myself than ever let you disappear. Mizuki lunged. Ren shoved Saki aside and stepped toward desk number 4. He placed his hand on the chair. It slid back invitingly, like a coffin welcoming its occupant. Mizuki's eyes widened with anticipation and terror, because Ren wasn't sitting out of fear. He was choosing. Pushpin 1 life for another. Pushpin 1 soul set free. Pushpin 1 curse to remain. Ren inhaled deeply, a last act of defiance. Then he pulled out the chair and prepared to sit. Chapter 14. The Last Player. The chair sat in front of Ren like a dark throne, demanding a sacrifice. Mizuki hovered above desk number 4, her long black hair dragging across the floor like veils of death. Saki's voice cracked. Ren, please don't. You'll disappear? Ren turned his head, forcing a smile filled with pain and courage. If someone must end this, it will be me. But Mizuki's expression flickered. A silent fear rippled through her inhuman form. Greater than, sit, and let me go. Ren took a deep breath. His fingers curled around the chair. Then, he did not sit. Instead, he grabbed the paper doll, the key to the ritual, and tore it apart. In that instant, the classroom screamed, a deafening roar of tortured souls. Desks and chairs exploded outward. Windows cracked into webs of shattered glass. Light bulbs burst, raining sparks. Reality itself seemed to unravel. Mizuki shrieked. No longer in control. Greater than, you break the game. Her shadow stretched wildly, like chains snapping loose in every direction. Ren shouted back. The game forced you here. I'm ending what should have ended years ago. Saki lunged to help, but Mizuki's hair whipped around her like tentacles, dragging her toward the abyss below desk number 4. Saki screamed. Ren, don't let it take me. Ren grabbed Saki's hand, their fingers slipping with blood. He pulled. But Mizuki stepped closer, snarling. Greater than, one must stay behind. One must replace me. Her voice wavered. She was terrified. Not of Ren, but of being dragged into the darkness again. Ren locked eyes with her. You were the first player, so you should be the one to finish it. Mizuki froze. For the first time, she looked like a girl. Lost and lonely. Begging to go home. Her tone broke. Greater than, I don't want to die again. Ren's voice softened, trembling. Then let go. End this. Stop the game. Mizuki hesitated. Her form flickered like static. The hands beneath desk number 4. Hungry, desperate, grabbed her ankles. She thrashed violently. Greater than, no, I don't want to go back. But the darkness had decided. Black arms wrapped around her like a coffin closing. Her body bent at impossible angles as they dragged her downward. She screamed with every ounce of fear left in her. Greater than, I just want to go home. A final tear, black and shimmering, fell from her hollow eyes. Then she was gone. The ground shuddered. The abyss snapped shut. The paper doll ignited into blue flame, consuming the curse. The desks fell silent. The air stilled. The clock stopped. The ritual was over. Ren collapsed with Saki in his arms. They survived. Or so they thought. Pushpin, the curse didn't vanish. Pushpin, it merely found a new host. And the one chosen was nowhere to be seen yet. Chapter 15, a new story begins. A blinding white light erupted, and everything collapsed into silence. Ren's senses slowly returned. He felt solid ground beneath him. Soft breeze brushing his skin. He opened his eyes. They were standing outside, under the morning sun. Students laughed, chattered, and walked through the school gates, as if nothing had ever happened. Ren turned to Saki. She was there, alive. Tears welled in her eyes as she realized. We're back. Ren breathed out in relief. Years of fear leaving him in a single exhale. But the relief was short-lived. Because none of the other students looked at them. No one greeted them. No one even noticed them. It was as if Ren and Saki were invisible. Ren hurried into the building. He checked the class roster on the bulletin board. Pushpin, his name was not listed. Pushpin, Saki's name was not listed. Even worse, desk number 4 was gone. Erased. Like it never existed. Saki's voice quivered. Ren, does this mean we're? Ren didn't want to answer. Because the truth was sinking in. Pushpin, they survived the ritual. Pushpin, but were erased from their own reality. A hand suddenly touched Saki's shoulder. She gasped. Then trembled. Because standing behind her was Toma. Alive. Unharmed. Smiling. But something was horribly wrong. His eyes. The pupils were shaped like the number 4. Toma spoke, but his voice was not his own. I told you. Running gets you killed. Sitting wins the game. Saki hugged him in relief, weeping. You're alive? You're alive? Ren's heart dropped like a stone. Toma looked at Ren, and his smile widened. Too wide. Greater than, I'm the one who survived. Ren stepped back. His voice cracked. Toma, what are you? Toma's head tilted unnaturally. Shadows stretching beneath him like a predator. Greater than, the 4th player must remain. The game needs a guide. Ren shook his head violently. No. No more victims? Toma took a step closer. Every student in the courtyard stopped moving, and slowly turned toward Ren and Saki. Their faces were blank. No eyes. No mouths. Just like the faceless students in the ritual. The first knock echoed. Cack. All the blank faces stared directly at Ren. The second. Cack. Desk number 4 appeared in the middle of the courtyard. The third. Cack. Toma whispered right beside Ren's ear. Greater than, let's start the game. Pushpin, the curse never ended. Pushpin, it simply found a new host. Pushpin and Ren was chosen to continue the nightmare. No matter how many times someone wins, the after-school ritual lives on. The missing student is always replaced, and the seat at desk number 4 is never truly empty. When you think it's finally over, the game continues somewhere inside a forgotten classroom. And if tonight you hear 3 knocks beneath your desk, don't reply, because they're searching for a replacement. See you after school, if you still exist.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.